For the past 3 years, I've been hopping into relationships, hoping I'll fall more in love with the new person than my most previous ex, or if you know me, than good ex, and simultaneously romanticizing living in the woods with 12 farm dogs like the fairy core queen that I am. Today, I want to talk about something that often gets brushed under the rug: vulnerability. We're told to be strong, to be tough, to not show weakness. But what if vulnerability isn't a weakness, but actually a source of strength? We're told from a young age how single parents and single moms especially have to be strong to carry the house. And being raised by a single mom myself, I've always wondered why my mom only cried behind closed doors. It's not easy raising my son alone and living with my mom, but I'm not going to hide my struggles away like it's something to be ashamed of, or like I'm the only person experiencing this struggle. And the more I speak, the more I pray, the more I give my feelings space, the freer I feel to move and live from a place of peace instead of anxiety about hiding who or where I am in my journey so far. When my son was born, it was one of the most fulfilling and beautiful days. It was honestly an easy labor, and it was an easy birth. My time in the hospital was cinematic and really euphoric. It was amazing, very cool. Like 10 out of 10, would definitely recommend, would do it 10 times again. When I got home, however, my adrenaline slowed down and I found myself needing help for the first time for things as small as making it to and using the restroom, for sitting down, for laying down, for getting back up, for managing my medications, and for eating, for managing my diet. My mom had already taken time off for my birth, which was on a Tuesday. So by the time we were home from the hospital, she only had the weekend left before having to go back. And she did go back on that Monday. And she wouldn't get back from work during the day until 5 at the earliest, but usually 6, 7. Sometimes she would come home at 8 or 9. And my mom said my fiance could stay with us at the time. He was my fiance at that time, father of my child as well, until I recovered. But he decided to go back on that Monday too. So I felt lonelier than ever and ashamed for even asking for help when my mom would get home because she'd be so tired. And that's not to say that, she doesn't deserve rest as well, but, I just had a baby. I think that it would have been so easy for her to just hold him while I took a shower, or hold him while I cooked some food, or brought some food home for me if she was getting food for herself. And I felt overwhelmed, and I felt like she was making me feel filthy and underqualified. And comments from others would make me feel underqualified because they would just act like I was supposed to be struggling. And it really was just a stark difference between, the communities that you see online, on social media, on TV shows where, someone has a baby and the neighbors bring meals, or, you get a different level of support in a good marriage when your husband is taking care of you, or your fiance is taking care of you. And the fact that he went back home was just it made me feel like I didn't matter. Like, oh yeah, I know you gave birth and you're struggling. You need help for basic things, but more than anything, you need money, right? So goodbye. Even though I told him that wasn't what was important. So it made me feel like my opinion didn't matter. And everyone saying that this was some sort of rite of passage felt like the cop-out, like the easy way out for them, instead of actually helping. I felt more cared for when I was nearing the birth than after, and it wasn't replaced by more care for my baby. It was just kind of gone afterwards. I felt like nobody cared anymore, and no one checked in for what seemed like a long time. This experience taught me patience, So many times when I would go through something difficult, I would impulsively jump into a new craft, a new project, a new hobby, a new desire, something that could distract me from my struggle and catapult me into some new fulfilling adventure. But barely having the energy for myself and being at my most vulnerable forced me to lean into what I could do and focus on only that. Breastfeeding, changing diapers, asking for groceries, begging for the time to wash my hair or shower. It forced me to stop relying only on myself and start opening up. It forced me to look at my relationships for what they could be instead of how I wanted them to serve me or how I wanted them to be just perfect. Because perfect relationships aren't always ideal if you're not, with people who also want a perfect relationship. If you're the only one fighting for that, then it's not usually going to work out in a mutually beneficial way. I stopped waiting for everyone and I closed my eyes and I learned how to ride the wave until I found a pace and a rhythm that I could fit into. One that let me shower, one that let me eat, one that let me talk to God instead of just saying, God, help me, please. Real conversations. Those are real conversations too, but I mean, something more than just crying to God. Sometimes the feeling of weakness and vulnerability just comes because we haven't found the acceptance and the balance of how to give up control over everything in our lives that's making us vulnerable and letting the rhythm and pace of our lives take control. I think vulnerability is us realizing that we don't have control over that thing and just kind of accepting that and sitting in that. Nestling into the rhythm of the waves has kept me from drowning, from feeling the need to race against others or get swept up. Being unsure of myself and my pace has given me, being aware of myself and my pace has given me more time. And I'm now aggressively patient for my dream life. I'm aggressive in my pursuit and I'm patient in my results. So it boils down to this. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know what the flub you're doing. It's okay to do things because you think that you should do them, especially when it comes to your child, even if someone else says that they wouldn't do that, because guess what? It's not their child and it's not their life. It's your life. So wear what you want to wear. Even if it's not 100% thought out yet, even if you need a new belt and you need new shoes and you need to wash and do your hair, but you haven't gotten the chance to because your child won't nap for more than 5 minutes, do it. Be vulnerable, be human, and stop being afraid of what other people are going to think or say, or that someone's going to irrationally do something because you decided that you want a toaster. And that's just me. I've wanted a toaster since I got pregnant. I wanted toast. Okay. I wanted toast and I wanted to not have to put my toast in the oven to make it. Like, I wanted to just be able to put my toast in the toaster, pop that thing, and now I got toast for my jam and jelly. I wanted it. I wanted dill seasoning, and I got dill seasoning. I wanted a crib, and everyone was on my case about wanting a crib, and guess what? I got a crib, and I'm so happy I have it. And I'm so happy I got it. When I got it, like when I was pregnant, instead of having to put it together with a child crawling around. I'm glad that, and no hate, I'm just saying, there's so many opportunities to be vulnerable, and instead of running away from that vulnerability and just, complying with what others say that you should do, we should lean into that vulnerability and do what is best for us, because God gives us those nudges for a reason. And if you always just shy away from that vulnerability or act like it's not there, you could be missing out on so many opportunities to live your life authentically human and be deep in those emotions.